Hi everyone, I am Dr. K. Sai Prasad Reddy. Welcome to the subject software testing. In today's session, we are going to discuss about the static testing and today's topic, different roles in formal review, typical defects found during the review, benefits of reviews, walkthroughs, inspections. So these are the topics that we are going to cover in this session. The first, what are the different roles in the formal review? So there will be 5 roles in formal review: manager, moderator, reviewer, author, scribe. Now we will discuss about each and every role and the responsibilities of each and every role. Manager. So obviously will be the project manager who will take care of this project. And what are the different responsibilities during the review meeting or towards the review meeting? See, the manager will request for the review. That means he will raise a request or he will send a request to the moderator to conduct the review meeting. And manager ensures the time is made available because during the project all the team members will be busy with their schedules. All the team members will be busy with their task. So the manager has to make sure that the time is available to conduct the review meeting. And also for this review meeting, each and every team member should present. So he has to check the availability of the team for this review meeting. And the manager will request the moderator to take care of all the review activities. These are the responsibilities of manager. And the moderator. Who is a moderator? Who is said to be moderator? Moderator is a subject matter expert. Moderator will have the highly experience. The moderator is a highly experienced resource. Here the one condition, the moderator should not be a part of this particular project. He will come from some other project within the company, right? And what are the different responsibilities of the moderator? So he has to identify the reviewers who are having the real skills, because if and only if the reviewers are having the skills, enough skills with respect to the domain or with respect to the technical or with respect to this particular project, then only they can perform the reviews effectively and efficiently. So moderator has to identify the right reviewers, and he has to confirm the date, review meeting date, after discussing with the author, because during the review meeting the presence of author is mandatory. So before confirming the review date, he has to check with the author whether the author will be available on that particular day or not. After confirming with the author, the moderator will schedule the review meeting. That means so and so date, so and so time the review meeting will be conducted. He will schedule the review meeting. And the main responsibilities, one of the main responsibilities of the moderator is he has to make sure that there should not be any deviation from the topic. That means during the review meeting, so many topics will be discussed, so many points will be discussed. Now the moderator has to make sure that there should not be any deviation from the topic. That means during the review meeting, the team should not discuss any unnecessary things. They have to stick on to that particular topic only. They have to stick on to that particular agenda only. And the moderator is responsible to make the success of this review meeting. And The moderator is responsible to generate the data points. That means he will generate the points to prove the effectiveness of the review. And after successful completion of this review meeting, the moderator will report back to the manager about the completion of this review. So these are the different responsibilities of a moderator. Author. Who is said to be an author? A person who will design or the person who will write the document is said to be an author. So the review meeting which is going to conduct on that particular document, the author should present. The concerned author of that document should present in the review meeting. This is mandatory. During the review meeting, the author is responsible to clarify the doubts of the review members. For example, say if there is an ambiguity in that particular document, if there is an ambiguity in that particular point, that means confusion in that particular point. If there is a lack of clarity in that particular point, then the author is responsible to clarify that particular topic or to particular that point to the entire team members, review team members. After review meeting is conducted, the author has to update the document based on the feedback given by the reviewers. That means before attending into this review meeting, all the reviewers will complete the review process on that particular document. During this review on that particular document, the reviewers independent, that is concerned reviewers, will find the defects and they will note down those defects. That is the feedback. This is also called as review comments, because the comments which are done during the review, that's why these comments are called review comments. So the reporting the defects which are found during the review process, or the feedback, or the review comments, all these will be reported to the author of that particular document. Now, the author has to update that document according to the feedback or according to the review comments or according to the defects. If really these feedback or review comments or the defects are genuine and acceptable. For example, if one resource has found the defect, this is very important point. So for example, I am the reviewer. I am reviewing that particular document. Now I found the defect. Now I have reported that defect to the concerned author of the document. Now he will go through that defect which is reported by me, and if really that defect is acceptable and really the defect is present in the document, or really the defect is genuine, then only the author will accept that defect and he will do modifications to the document. He will update the document accordingly. Otherwise, that means if the defect is not genuine or there is no defect at all, then he will reject that defect. So like this, the author of the document has to update the document. Reviewer. This reviewer is also called as an inspector. Predominantly, the word reviewer will be used. Sometimes the reviewer is also called as inspector. Here, who is the reviewer? The person who is having a technical knowledge, or the person who is having the domain knowledge, or the person who is having the subject matter expert. These persons are called reviewers. So, if anybody wants to perform the review on that particular document, all these criteria should be met. That means technical knowledge, domain knowledge, as well as the subject matter expert. So the person who is having a necessary technical knowledge to review the document, that is subject matter expert, is called reviewer. During the review meeting, each and every reviewer will present their observations or the defects which are found by them, and the questions or clarifications, etc. This is the reviewer. These are the different responsibilities of the reviewer. The scribe. Scribe is a person who will note down all the points during the review meeting. That means so many points and so many topics will be discussed in review meeting. So what are the points that they have discussed, and what are the topics that they have discussed, and what the resolutions that they have taken during the review meeting? Like this, each and every discussion of this review meeting will be noted down as a document by the scribe. That is the responsibility of the scribe. So scribe is a person who has to note down all the discussions which happened in the review meeting. After successful completion of review meeting, he will go back to his seat and he will prepare the soft copy of that particular document which he has written down, and he will distribute or he will share that document to all the participants of the review meeting. This is the responsibility of the scribe. And what are the typical defects that are found in review? So generally, the requirement defects will be found. That means the defects which are present in the requirements document, either it may be a business requirements specification, that is BRS document, or software requirements specification, that is SRS document. The defects which are present in the requirements documents will be found during the review. And the design defects, that is defects which are present in the designs. And incorrect interface specifications, that means are there any defects in the interface or incorrect interface specifications. And deviations from standards. So what is one of the definitions of this defect? Deviations from the standards. So are there any deviations, are there any violations from the standards? All these type of defects will be found during the review process. Going forward, I will take the BRS document and I will prepare a separate session, video lecture, how to perform the review on the BRS document, how to find the defects in the BRS document, what type of the defects that were possible to find in the BRS document, and how to report the defects in the BRS document. These topics I will cover in the next session. So these are all the typical defects that are found in the review. And what are the benefits of the reviews? So in the earlier session also we have discussed some of the benefits of the review. And these are all the benefits of the reviews. See, all these benefits are possible if and only if the reviewers will do the effective reviews and efficient reviews. Then only we can have these benefits. I repeat, if and only if the review team performs efficient review and effective review, then only we will have these benefits. Now we will discuss each and every benefit. Development of productivity improvement, that is one defect, that is one benefit. That means productivity improvement will be there. Why? Because during the reviews, maximum number of defects which are possible will be found and rectified, and obviously we will have the improvement in the development activities. And the reduced development time scales, because due to the less presence of defects, because majority of the defects are already found during the review process. So if there are no defects, obviously it will take less time to develop the project. And reduce the testing time and cost, because if there are 100 defects in the project, 70% of the defects are possible to find in the review process only. The rest of 30% of the defects will be found during the testing. So that means if the efficient review, due to this efficient review and effective review, the time that it takes for the testing process will be less, and obviously the cost will be also less. And the reduced fault levels. Fault means defect levels. Obviously the defects will be minimized. Avoiding the defect multiplication. This is one of the important benefits of the review. Avoiding the defect multiplication. What do you mean of the defect multiplication? For example, say if there is a defect in the BRS document, that is, if there is a defect in the requirements if that defect has found during the BRS document review, then the defect will be removed. If unfortunately that defect is not found, what will happen? The same requirement will be carried forward to the analysis phase, and the same requirement will carry forward to the high level designs, low level designs and coding. That means the defect which is present in the requirement is going to forward to the next stages, which may create multiple number of defects. This is called a defect multiplication. One defect may create multiple number of defects. This is called a defect multiplication. By doing this effective testing and efficient testing, we can avoid defect multiplication. How we will avoid defect multiplication? By finding the defects at the early stage of the project itself. Next, testing cost is reduced by 50 to 80%. That we have already discussed. Because if there are less number of defects, obviously the testing cost will be reduced. What do you mean by the testing cost? It is nothing but the combination of productivity and effort. Productivity means output. Effort means man hours. So the cost will be reduced by 50 to 80%. And the reduced faults by a factor of 10. That means if you do the effective review and efficient review instead of 100 defects, so we can have only the 10 defects that are remained in the review. That means 90% of the defects will be found and removed during the review process. Reduction in schedules, remove of the faults at each and every stage of the software development life cycle, and reduction in maintenance cost. Obviously, reduction in schedule. What do you mean by the schedule? See, in project, for each and every activity, there will be a schedule. Here, this activity is called a task. Task is nothing but an activity, a work. Now, review is one task. What do you mean by the schedule? Schedule is nothing but start date and the end date of that particular task. For example, review is one task. For this review process, there will be a starting date and there will be end date. So, this is called the schedules. So, the reduction in the schedules will be possible if you do this effective review and efficient reviews. And walkthrough. See, please keep it in mind, walkthrough will be an always informal activity. That is an unofficial activity. There will be no plan for this walkthrough. It is like similar to review also. It is similar to review, but it is an informal. Walkthrough is an informal. Walkthroughs are like review, but these walkthroughs are informal. These walkthroughs will be conducted by the group of the people. In that group, the author will also present. For what purpose actually this walkthrough will be performed? The main goal or the main aim or the main task of a walkthrough is to obtain the second person opinion. So for this purpose, we will do this walkthrough activity. So walkthrough is basically carried for obtaining a second person view on the activity carried out. Predominantly, these walkthroughs will be done for the source codes. That means the walkthroughs will be performed by the software developers or the software development team on the source code. For what purpose? To improve the programming logic, to improve the source code design. So for this purpose, the development team will perform walkthrough on the source code. Inspection. Inspection will be always a formal activity, that is an official activity. This is an assessment or evaluation on that particular work product. Say, now the definition of the inspection: a formal assessment of a work product conducted by one or more qualified independent reviewers in order to find the defects or in order to find the violation of the development standards, etc. That means that inspection will be done by the independent reviewers, that is qualified independent reviewers. So during this inspection, these independent reviewers will find the defects or will check are there any, or will verify are there any violations of the development standards or not. So during this inspection, the independent reviewers will identify the defects, but these independent reviewers will not attempt to correct them. Who is responsible to correct those defects? The concerned author of the document or the concerned developer of that particular source code, because the code, the source code will be also inspected, right? Now see here, what can be inspected? Anything that is written down for the project can be inspected. That means so many documents will be generated, so many documents will be written, so many documents will be designed for the projects. Hundreds of documents will be written for the project. All the documents, even a small piece of paper also, all the documents which are written, all the documents which are designed for that particular project, all the documents can be inspected, like policies of the project, strategy plans of the project, business plans, marketing, advertising material, contracts, system requirements, feasibility studies, acceptance test plans, system test plans, test designs, test cases, test results, requirement traceability matrix, test scenarios, use cases, system designs, source code, user manuals, procedures, training material, whatnot. Everything which is written for that particular project should be inspected. And if you like my sessions, please subscribe my channel and share my sessions to the students community who are trying for the job in the IT industry, and please like my sessions. Thank you very much.